Hello, Canada, and the world at large. This is Lane from Canada. It might be hard to believe now, but there was a notable lull between Batman Returns and Batman Begins when superhero movies weren't exactly in vogue. Sure, we had a few sparks like the early X-Men and Fantastic Four films, but it was Christian Bale and Robert Downey Jr. who really started the fire. Easy there, Billy Joel, don't give me another copyright strike. Yes, in a video series wherein I use almost exclusively copyrighted film clips, the only copyright strike I haven't been able to dispute and shake off was from freaking Billy Joel. Don't tangle with the piano man, baby. The real downside to the superhero slump of the 1990s and early 2000s was that a few great ones were completely overlooked, and we were denied what could have been some truly great franchises. But it's never too late to dig up a classic, especially when you can probably still find it in the $3 DVD bin at Walmart. Welcome to Before Movies Sucked, and this is Mystery Men. Champion City is a sprawling metropolis that was once a battleground for some of the world's greatest superheroes and supervillains, but is now enjoying relative peace due to the protection of their greatest hero, Captain Amazing, who has vanquished every major supervillain. The only villains left are now low-level thugs who the Captain is embarrassed to fight, and he is also increasingly focused on his own grandeur and maintaining corporate sponsorships. One of the remaining villain gangs, the Red Eyes, attempts a robbery at a nursing home. The raid is intercepted by a trio of amateur superheroes, Blue Raja, the Shoveler, and Mr. Furious, despite none of them having actual superpowers. Well-meaning heroes are easily overpowered and suffer a savage beatdown until Captain Amazing arrives. He immediately defeats the Red Eyes and is celebrated by the citizens and media, although he is stunned to learn that he has lost his Pepsi endorsement. The other heroes are mocked by the police for their failure, but a drunk and slightly mad scientist named Doc Heller appreciates their heroism and offers to create better weapons for them, although he is dismissed as just another senile fan. As he takes his limousine home, Captain Amazing rants about his dwindling sponsorships to his publicist, Victor. Hey, that's Ricky Jay!
I think right now we should focus on the positive. Tonight was good.
Yeah? You think so? Because I was worried it was, I don't know.
Pathetic! Amazing triumphs at a nursing home. That's great copy, Vic.
Look, I'm a publicist, not a magician. You want big news, you have to have big fights. A superhero needs a supervillain, and thanks to you, we've got none left.
Then get the Deathman.
Deathman is dead.
Okay, Father Doom.
Life without parole. Apocalypto's doing 50 years, Armageddon's in exile, Baron von Chaos got the chair.
Really?
Casanova Frankenstein is locked up in a nut house.
Casanova Frankenstein. Now there was a supervillain. You know, he just got those eyes, you know. So I can't do it, but that voice, such pure evil. The battles we used to have, extraordinary.
Used to. That's the problem, Captain. Used to.
Amazing visits the insane asylum as his billionaire alter ego, Lance Hunt, acting as proxy to Captain Amazing in order to testify at the parole hearing of Casanova Frankenstein. With the endorsement of Captain Amazing and his psychiatrist, Dr. Leek, who is secretly Casanova's girlfriend, Casanova is immediately set free. After nursing their sorrows in a diner, the heroes are surprised to see Tony C. and Tony P., the leaders of the dangerous Disco Boys gang, returning to Champion City after long ago being vanquished by Captain Amazing. Mr. Furious discreetly tails them to Casanova's mansion, where Casanova baits Captain Amazing by triggering a remote detonation and blowing up the asylum. Amazing smugly anticipates their greatest battle upon his arrival, but he is quickly outwitted by Casanova.
Oh, looky here. A multi-frequency radio detonator. You should be more careful when discarding incriminating evidence.
Oh, no. This is an amusing little gizmo. It's really quite cool.
Yeah? What is it?
Ugh. It's a chloroform deploying portable enticement snare.
Ah, dang!
Oh, Lancey. You really are so predictable.
After slogging through his miserable day job as a junkyard wrecker, Mr. Furious convinces the Shoveler and Blue Raja to rescue Amazing from the Frankenstein mansion, but they again suffer a humiliating defeat at the hands of the Disco Boys. Realizing that they will need to expand their team to save the captain, They decide to recruit other superheroes but don't know how to find them.
Well, there's the Sphinx, of course.
The what?
The Sphinx.
I know this guy. Big crime fighter from down south. Big league hitter down there.
What's his power?
Well, he's terribly mysterious.
That's it? That's his power? He's mysterious?
Well, terribly mysterious. Plus, he can, like, cut guns in half with his mind. Really? I think. I hadn't heard that.
The team first recruits a young man known as the Invisible Boy, despite their skepticism when he claims that he can only turn invisible when nobody is looking at him, including himself. They then reluctantly allow their annoying friend, the Spleen, to join them as well, who has the power of anesthetic flatulence.
It all started when I was just 13 years of age. One day, while walking with some friends, I accidentally cut the cheese. Well, in my adolescent awkwardness, I blamed it on an old gypsy woman who happened to be passing by. Big mistake! The gypsy woman placed a curse upon my head. Because I'd smelt it, she decreed I would forevermore be he who does it!
The team holds superhero tryouts at the Shoveler's house, but the crowd of wannabes proves to be even more incompetent than they are. The only promising applicant is Carol the Bowler, whose father was the famed crime fighter Carmine the Bowler, who was killed by the Disco Boys. She has a magic bowling ball with her father's skull inside, which she uses as a weapon as she seeks revenge on Tony P. The team spots Casanova's limo and manages to chase it down, demanding to know what Casanova has done with Captain Amazing. When he mocks them, the team ineffectually attacks his limo, causing only superficial damage before being forced to flee from the gun-toting Disco Boys. Despite this, the team considers the excursion to be a victory, as it was the first time that they didn't end up beaten to a pulp, and they celebrate by going out and getting drunk. When they leave the bar, they realize that the Disco Boys are waiting to execute them, but they are rescued by the Sphinx. The heroes are immediately in awe and want him to be their new leader, but Mr. Furious suspects that the terribly mysterious superhero is formulaic beneath his wise facade.
Mysterious. Terribly mysterious.
Why do you stand aside while the others practice?
Practice? That's not practicing. That's group hugging.
Realizing that the hero team is still inadequately prepared for the rescue mission, the Shoveler remembers and visits Doc Heller, who provides the team with a bizarre assortment of non-lethal weapons.
What do you call this?
Careful, that's a blame thrower.
A blame thrower. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Your bad attitude is hurting this team.
Stop spitting on me, Eric. Shower already.
Let it shower. Stink. Sorry if I spit.
I'm sorry. No.
Meanwhile, Casanova has recalled all of his former gangs to his mansion for a riotous party, which for some reason includes a crew of drunken frat boys led by Michael Bay. The heroes manage to covertly infiltrate Casanova's mansion and locate Captain Amazing strapped to a strange plot device.
This contraption is in fact a weapon of mass destruction. Casanova plans to turn it against the city tonight at midnight.
Hey, something's happening.
Okay, very good. Now on the wall to your left, you should see two toggles side by side.
Oh, toggles? What do you mean toggles? You talking about switches?
I see them, Captain.
Thank you. Flip the first toggle.
Flipping.
Now flip the second toggle.
He says, Bella. Man knows right off his feet.
Captain, I'm just going to ask you directly. Do you know billionaire Lance Hunt?
It's me. No, I'm kidding with you. I've always wanted to do that.
What's next?
I just told you, flip the second toggle.
Again?
What do you mean?
Flip the toggle twice?
No, don't do that. Just flip it again, now, one time. Flip it.
Does he understand what I'm asking?
Hold on a second. Captain, exactly how many toggle flips in toto are involved in this entire procedure?
It's 7.
7?
Flip it!
7?
Hold the phone, everybody, hold the phone. You phrased that incorrectly. We need to know how many toggle flips are needed, not counting the gratuitous toggle flip you may have asked for in a moment of panic.
Flip it!
Okay, you know what? Can we just start again? Is there some sort of like reset button on this thing?
No, you little freak. There's no button for resetting.
Flip the switch, lady. Don't stare at me. Lift your left arm. Flip it, you moron!
Whoa.
You're a moron!
I am not a
You're a
moron.
moron! Flip the
not
switch,
call her a
flip
moron.
it!
That's not cool.
Thank you.
I will do it.
Flip the switch, lady! Don't look at me like that.
It's this one, yeah?
Uh-oh. Wrong switch.
Everybody heard me say reset button, right?
Having accidentally murdered Captain Amazing, the panicked heroes flee while Casanova pretends that he was the one who killed the hero to impress his gangs. Heller tells the heroes that the device is a theoretically impossible weapon known as a psychofraculator, which would destroy Champion City in the same horrific manner that it did to Captain Amazing. The Sphinx advises running away, which the others eagerly agree to, but the Shoveler convinces them to stay and fight with a motivational speech that leaves literally every third-act sports movie in the dust.
This is egg salad. It's loaded with cholesterol. The wife won't even let me touch it. Hardly seems to matter now, because chances are we're already dead. Amazing is gone. There's no use waiting for the cavalry, because as of this moment, the cavalry is us.
Oh, yeah, but I don't want to get fraculated.
Psychofraculated.
Still get fraculated.
This is our fight, whether we like it or not. Just we few. We're not your classic superheroes. We're not the favorites. We're the other guys. We're the guys nobody ever bets on. But I'll tell you what I think. I think you and that ball of yours have an appointment that you've got to keep. Invisible Boy, I think it's time you were seen. Sphinx, you have trained us well. And Dr. Heller, you might just have given us the edge we need. And Spleen, I don't want to stand behind you, but I'll fight beside you with pride. Jeff, you've got a rare and beautiful gift. The city needs you tonight. And Roy, in all the years I've known you, I've never seen you walk away from a fight. Why, you lifted a city bus once, man. I think you've got what it takes to handle Casanova. We're all in over our heads, and we know it. But if we take on this fight, those of us who survive it will forever after show our scars with pride and say, that's right, I was there. I fought the good fight. So what do you say? Do we all gather together and go kick some Casanova butt? Or do I eat this sandwich?
I say, what the fork? Let's do it!
The team refits a Herkimer battle jitney from Mr. Furious's junkyard with Heller's weapons and don their new uniforms. However, after bidding farewell to his new girlfriend, Monica, Mr. Furious is stunned by the revelation that he has never actually had any rage-fueled superpowers, but is just a regular angry white guy. He wants to just go home, but the team forcibly brings him along and tries to motivate him, in a scene that I'm pretty sure Ben Stiller later ripped off at the end of Tropic Thunder.
Okay, let's do this. You're a very furious man. Do you understand that?
No.
No? Well, you got a lot to be furious about, and I'll tell you why. You're not well-liked. You're abrasive and off-putting. You try and say pithy things, but your wit is a hindrance, and so therefore nothing is provocative. It's just mixed metaphors. Now, doesn't that make you angry? Does it infuriate you?
No!
Well, it should. Are you angry? Come on, man!
Your penmanship is atrocious.
You dress in the manner of a male prostitute.
After a truly epic battle, the team defeats all of Casanova's henchmen, and the Invisible Boy saves them from a laser trap by finally proving that he can turn invisible, although he ends up naked in the process. While the Shoveler defeats Tony C and the other Disco Boys, the Bowler finally faces Tony P and kills him with her bowling ball. However, Casanova reveals that he has kidnapped Monica, causing Mr. Furious to finally give in to his rage in an effective manner, and he engages Casanova in a hilarious fistfight. In the end, Casanova is thrown into the psychofraculator, but the weapon is already charging up to destroy the city.
How do we shut this thing down? Group hug! Yeah! Okay! Hurry up! Get her closer to the hole!
Dad, this is the way it has to be! The upshot is you won't be killed because you're already dead! No, I'm not going with you! If there's a time for separation, let me tell you something, this is it! Alright, lift me up!
Push her off! Me lift her up! Help her! Ready? You can do it! Hold on!
The bowling ball destroys the machine as the heroes flee from the exploding mansion, where they are finally hailed as heroes by the police and media, although they don't know what to call their team. One reporter refers to them as these mystery men, but they don't hear her as they're still too busy arguing about what their name should be. I won't deny that I get a sadistic pleasure from telling you how much money has been lost by modern superhero movies in recent years, but Mystery Men was one that truly saddens me. It had a budget of $68 million, but it made back less than half of that, certifying it as a box office bomb. Fortunately, that takes us right back to Lessons in Legacy, and today it's still a popular choice on home video, although you will have to dig through that Walmart discount bin to find it. I'm fine with appreciating a comedy classic nearly 25 years later, especially when it won't break the bank to pick up a copy, and reminds people to buy physical media. One of the things I have to point out about this movie is that Champion City and its inhabitants are a true credit to the special effects team, hair and makeup, and the wardrobe department. The movie was released in 1999, and Captain Amazing even mentions the upcoming new millennium, but the fashions, hairdos, and vehicles give the city a timeless quality that could just as easily be set anywhere between the 1940s and 1970s. The refrigerators are green, the cityscapes are replete with endless neon, Chinese lettering, and crowded skyways full of zeppelins, and it all adds up to some of the most truly comic book-esque backdrops I've ever seen in a movie. The late 90s CGI isn't perfect, but Champion City is still a fantastic hybrid of Ridley Scott's Blade Runner and Tim Burton's Batman, and even Casanova's Insane Asylum looks like it should have a flaming Eye of Sauron mounted on it. Goofy superheroes with questionable superpowers aren't exactly a new idea, but they do make for some of my favorite shows and movies, most notably The Tick, and it's a shame that movies like Mystery Men never got a chance to spawn similar franchises. Maybe it'll garner enough of a cult status to warrant a sequel one day, so I would love to follow this ensemble of lovable losers on a few more adventures. The blue-collar grunt aspect of the cast is one of the things that makes them so endearing and relatable. All of them look like real people, because in this case they are real people, and half of them have zero superpowers, which might even include Captain Amazing, who just has better funding. One of my favorite lines in the movie is when the shoveler tries to convince his long-suffering wife Lucille that his skill with a shovel is a divine gift that he has a duty to use for good.
Lucille, God gave me a gift. I shovel well. I shovel very well.
I freaking love William H. Macy. The film obviously didn't go overboard with casting the godlike beauty and physiques that we would grow more accustomed to in the golden age of superhero films from the mid-2000s to 2019. Sure, I had a major crush on the bowler. I have no problem saying that 1990s Janine Garofalo was super cute and gives one of her funniest performances in this movie. But even she wasn't made into one of the exaggeratedly hot comic book characters that we're used to. Or should I say, one of the exaggeratedly hot comic book characters that we used to be used to.
That's a huge
You can forget about the Foot Clan. By that girl's mid-20s, she is going to be battling the Sugarfoot Clan. Thanks again, Seth Rogen. Good luck with Observe and Report 2. Here's a more likable girl from Estonia demonstrating a cinematic concept known as the Magic or Golden Hour. Ben Stiller gets a lot of points for playing the most overcompensating of the heroes. I particularly love the powerhouse roar that he gives before every hapless attack, as if he's summoning pure rage to supercharge his body, only to then attack the hood of a limo and ineffectually try to pry the crest off with his fingernails. Not to mention the things the man can do with his face while he's trying to hold back his temper. Wes Studi is one of the last actors I would ever think of when casting a superhero, but he steals the show during the training montage, and I love that he is the one character who is never shown in his human alter ego. There was a deleted scene wherein his day job is shown to be bussing tables at a grungy diner, but I'm actually glad it was cut. The terribly mysterious superhero plays a lot better when he remains terribly mysterious.
How many weapons do you wield?
Just one, Sphinx.
No. The fist, the knee, the elbow, the head. You must lash out with every limb, like the octopus who plays the drums.
Paul Rubens, Greg Kinnear, Tom Waits, and Kel Mitchell all get some truly great moments as the Spleen, Captain Amazing, Doc Heller, and Invisible Boy, with Kinnear in particular making me wonder if he could actually carry a true action hero movie in a more serious film. Heck, we just got Bob Odenkirk and a 300-year-old Christopher Lloyd kicking butt like nobody's business in Nobody a couple of years ago, so who knows what's possible. Blue Raja is probably the only role outside of The Simpsons wherein I actually liked Hank Azaria, who I normally find kind of excruciating. But he probably makes me laugh more than any other character in the film, so credit where it's due, I love him in Mystery Men.
If you'll allow me to begin, my dear, Blue Raja is quite partial to the salad niçoise. My dressing choice is Rancho Light, and I'd appreciate it if you'd hold the back a bit. However, seeing as it's your first night and all, I suppose I'll forgive you if you forget. Who's next?
He also gets the single sweetest moment in the film when he reveals his secret identity to his mom, who finally feels proud of him after spending most of the movie believing that he was a slacker pothead.
Oh, these belong to your great-great-grandmother. I was saving these for your wedding day, but from the looks of it, that day, it's probably a long way off. Oh.
Also got to give a special shout out to Eddie Izzard as Tony P, simply because I will never cease to find Disco absolutely hilarious.
The old disco room.
As far as Oscar-winning and 4-time Oscar-nominated actor Jeffrey Rush is concerned, note to modern superhero filmmakers, if you're going to insist on making all of your straight white males into one-dimensional villains, while female, gay, and minority villains are given the questionable benefit of sympathetic justification, Casanova Frankenstein is absolutely the way to do it. Casanova has the full mix of genuine evil genius and menace, while also being witty and charming. We are given zero indication as to what his history or motivations are, and I doubt even he cares about it. He's a supervillain and he loves it. Top it all off with an indecipherable accent that's somewhere between a German commandant and Count Dracula, and you've got the perfect villain for a superhero comedy.
Stick with me, Tony. And you will dance again.
Critics were actually fairly supportive of this movie, although it should be noted that some of this praise was actually regarding a perceived anti-gun message in the story, since, Hollywood film critics have always been a bunch of commies. It's true that only the villains of the film use guns, and Heller insists on equipping his heroes with non-lethal arsenals, but that's about as far as the message goes. Coupled with the rather pleasant lack of curse words in the film, this only adds to the fun, family-friendly innocence of Mystery Men, and makes it a pretty soft PG-13. Despite that softening, could this movie be made today?
Hey! Pardon me, fatty!
All body types aren't beautiful, and some are actively gross. Movies used to be able to tell us that and expect us to laugh.
It's funny because he's fat.
If Brendan Fraser doesn't win an Oscar for The Whale, we can officially give up on Hollywood because they're beyond all redemption.
I need to know that I have done one thing right with my life.
You're dang right I found a way to work that into a review of a superhero comedy spoof. The dude's got like 61 different nominations for that role and he's already won half of them. There was a time before modern Star Trek and modern Disney Marvel when token black guys and token females were a thing and nobody was gay.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
Well, whatever you call them, Champion City will forever owe a debt of gratitude to these mystery men.
Men? Anyway, should Christ tarry, I'll see you in the next video. Jesus loves you. Vote Lane for King of Canada. Disco shall never die so long as we hold it dear in our hearts. And let's make movies great again.
Put him on the endangered species list.
Come on, man.